What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Justin, here with Meelz. What's up, Meelz?
Another week in unemployed bliss. That's all we're here for. Another day, another. I got a new way that a company jerked me around this morning. I haven't told you because I was waiting for this to tell you. Um, they pull the old. I got sent the email that I moved on to the next round, and then an hour later, they were like, "Actually, that was an automated email we sent by mistake."
New and exciting ways to not get
New and
jobs.
exciting ways to be jerked around in all types of things. And it was like, and then all I could do respond was like, "All right, I'll wait for next steps." I look forward to hearing the actual next steps. Because out there sent was I just noticed the system has sent you an automated message to schedule the next round. Please ignore that email. I'll get in touch regarding the next steps. I was like, what? Sure.
Oh man. Hey, I had a recruiter call me yesterday, completely unprepared, and 5 minutes late.
Oh, were
Yeah,
they
man. Yeah, man.
were were they were they white?
Of course. I've never talked to a black recruiter before in my life.
Same actually. Now that I think about it, I get hit up by various people, but it's been a long time since I've actually interviewed with anyone that's actually black, like black, low key, like black. And it's not even like, oh my god, I would prefer to talk to black people like that. It's just like they level more with your experience. There isn't like an internal trauma of like they won't actually understand where I'm coming from with any of this, or
Mm,
their unconscious bias that probably leads them in one direction over the other.
yeah.
So, it just is what it is. Hopefully, can't even interview a BET, it's still a white person. So it is what it is.
That was actually interesting when you told me that back in the day. I was like, that's actually kinda crazy.
At BET, I don't even know what they're doing now. So I interviewed for BET a while ago. Lady was 10 minutes late, but then also wanted to finish the interview 10 minutes early. And they were trying
That's
to
always
launch.
fun.
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh, I have other meetings to go to." I was like, "Oh, really? Okay." That's never like great to hear that like you're too busy for this interview that I'm on. Sorry, my life is inconveniencing you. That you guys wanted to do this, but they were supposed to be launching some sort of like sports vertical. I haven't seen it. Um, but I know there was some stuff about like they wanted to do sports. Okay, I guess they kind of did launch it, but it's like who's going to BT for sports? You know what I'm saying? Like even if it's like the black experience of sports, like who's going to BET for their news? You
Mm,
know?
yeah.
So, but I was willing to do it, and realistically, like that was going to be. I was just like, all right, well, whatever. Niggas want make me write about fucking sports for BET, sure. Um, and then that was that. But yes, new exciting ways. But I do have a good opportunity this week. I will be. This is my. So I'm doing Anime NYC. We've been there a number of years in a row. This is actually the
Yeah.
first year that actually I won't have any of my guys, any of my lookout guys. So Jamal's not coming, Jay's not coming, AD's not coming. It's literally just going to be me. But also, I'm hosting two panels on Friday. I'm hosting a panel with Sandy Fox, who is the voice. She's done a lot of voices for like Simpsons, King of the Hill, um, Hello Kitty. She is the voice for what's her most notable voice? Oh my god. Um, I should know this because I'm trying to like prep for this interview. Not really interview, like
Look
panel.
at you. Look at you not prepared.
Well, I was working on it yesterday, but then these things is like her career spans like 30 years. So it's and she's not the only one on the panel. Sailor Chibi Moon is her
Okay.
anime claim to fame. So the young pink haired Sailor Moon, her voice is very, very incredible.
Recognizable. Yeah.
Absolutely. And she's married to another person I'm going to interview in the panel after this, which is hilarious. Didn't know that until I did the research. I'm interviewing, so I'm doing that. It's supposed to be this like Sanrio Kawaii. I don't know why I was picked for this panel, but we're going to make it shake and the pay is
You
the
know
pay.
all about you know all about cute shit.
Yeah, right. And then I believe I'm also interviewing Jenny. Yokobori, who does again voices for Hello Kitty and a couple other voices. I think she's in Don Don and a lot of other stuff like that. And then I'm doing the JJK panel where I'm interviewing the voice actors of Gojo and Geto, which I thought was like, I was like, oh shit, yeah, hell yeah. And I didn't know the voice actor for Geto was married to the voice actor for Sailor Moon lady, but here we are, small world, right? Um, so I'm doing that on Friday. And then actually on Saturday, Crunchyroll has contracted me to interview a mangaka, which I've never done before. So I'm interviewing someone who doesn't really. There'll be a translator there, thankfully, but I feel good because I'm like, okay, I'm going here. It's not all for play. I get to work. I get to go for free. In fact, I get paid to go.
That's fire.
Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? This is gonna be a good weekend. So if you're there on Friday at Anime NYC, hit me up. If you're there on Saturday, hit me up. Saturday, I'll definitely be there, like the majority of the day. Also Friday as well. Sunday and probably not a chance. But so I'm gonna miss I believe this weekend is Forbidden Door. I'm gonna miss that. Um
Oh no.
I believe this Friday's afternoon SmackDown. So gonna miss that. Um Nothing's like a good afternoon SmackDown. Let's get SmackDown out of the way. Let's get it out of the way like chores. Let's get it out.
Yeah, let's get SmackDown back to 3 hours. What the fuck? We're gonna talk about that later.
Let's get that shit out of the way. But yeah, so looking forward to the stuff that I have to do this weekend. Very, very excited. And then after that, I think I'm going to still got one more episode of the Lookout for Summer at Kame House. We're doing, I think, the Red Ribbon Army of Dragon Ball. And then from there on out, I'm going to essentially quit watching things that I have to watch, except wrestling, um, for the next 2 weeks and watch stuff that I actually want to watch.
Have you finished King of the Hill yet?
Oh yeah, I finished it last week. I probably finished it day of when we did the podcast. Yeah, really good.
What a great season. I finished it over the weekend and wow.
And then, so here's what I also did. So I discovered they had a YouTube channel, like an official YouTube channel.
For who?
So King of the Hill.
What?
So there's an official YouTube channel with like all the funniest clips from the show. Apparently, they've had this for like 8 months. So I literally go on YouTube and I hit play, and it's gonna consistently show me King of the Hill clips for hours and hours and hours. And for some reason, every clip is like between 3 to 5 minutes long. Um,
That's hilarious.
it's amazing, bro. So yeah, I'm back on my King of the Hill shit for a bit. But no, the season was fantastic. Season was awesome. Um, I want to actually in this 2 weeks I don't have to watch anything that I don't need to watch except wrestling. I need to get to a movie. Which movie should I see, sir? Like
Uh, what are you
which
into?
movie you think I would like, knowing
Yeah, I
me?
don't know. I can never tell with you.
Oh, that's good. That's good
I
and
can never.
bad.
I can never tell with you. I mean, go see Superman if you're looking for like blockbuster type,
Okay.
movie. That's
I'll
probably
watch
the
it.
best blockbuster movie of the year.
I'll watch it.
Um, Superman's pretty good. What have I seen? I saw Nobody 2 last weekend. That was a good little action movie.
Okay.
Um, I don't know what you like. This is an extremely you got me on the back foot right now. I don't know because
Okay.
you never asked this.
No, this is true. Highest to lowest, should I watch that? No?
I haven't seen it. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things, but
Okay.
I haven't seen it at all. I've heard very mixed things about it.
Okay.
I'm mostly from people who are like upset that the movie was not like promoted very well. But I'm like, if Apple's doing it, they're pretty much gonna do whatever the hell they want to do with it. So like,
Mhm.
you should already know that Apple's they're gonna take it and make it their own kind of thing. But a lot of people have been upset about that. That's been like the only conversation I've seen around it thus far.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So I definitely want to get something in a theater, and then couple weeks Demon Slayer is coming up, so I'll definitely watch that. 2.5 hour movie. Do they still make 2.5 hour movies?
All every week they do.
Oh shit. All right. The longest movie I remember going to see in theaters was Pirates of the Caribbean 2, and I was like, why is this movie so fucking long?
The second one was the second one the best one? I can't remember which one I liked the
It was
best.
it was enjoyable, but I felt it was very, very long,
Yeah.
and this was when did it come out? Um, it came out when I was in high school because I would me and my friends were like, "We go to let's see what's going on at the movies," and shit like that. 2006. So this movie was 151 minutes long. That's definitely 2.5
Oh, there's
hours
movies
long.
longer than that. The newest
Okay.
Mission Impossible is like 140 or 48 minutes long.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a and then I think the longest movie I saw after that was the Avengers, one of them Avengers movies, the final one.
One of them shits.
Yeah, one of them ones, the 181 minutes, 3 hours movie. I mean, the credits and all the stuff like that, but Avengers Endgame, yeah, 3-hour movie, man. Like we usually stuff like that. I like a good 90 minutes, maybe 2-hour movie.
So you need to
Get
go see animated movies then.
Oh, damn. I guess I do. Except Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is like, no, 2:30. Nigga, fuck out of here. Um, so maybe I will do that. Who knows? What else is going on in your life, sir? Is anything popping with you? You have anything going on as the summer days continue to wind down?
It's October in my house.
Oh,
Yep. It's October in my house. My wife she's already started it. I tried to stop her. She just wouldn't stop, and my whole house is almost Halloweened out. By the end of this week, it will
really?
fully be in October. Yeah.
Not even Labor Day. You-
It started everywhere, technically around, California at this point. Like, all
Oh,
of the
really?
almost
Huh.
all of the spirit Halloweens are, open now.
I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine. Thinking anything Halloween before Labor Day. I guess because I don't know, Labor Day is always a big day in New York
She
City,
told me
especially.
she told me it's something called Augtober. That's AUG Tober.
Yo, there's so much I gotta keep up with.
I know.
This is good shit to know. Like if I ever get a job back in branding or marketing, right? Like I can throw this bullshit out and see what
Yeah.
happens. Um,
Augtober. Just keep it there, like
I'll
Augtober.
keep it in the tuck just for
Yeah.
like in case we want to promote something.
So
Um,
she's been slowly, building up the just our Halloween kinda, like, collection of things. We went to where were we at last weekend? I think I tweeted about it. Like, I was in fucking TJ Maxx or some store, and we were just in there for hours, just
mm,
walking around while she looked for and my wife's like she's a visual designer. So, like, this is her thing, you know what I mean? Like, this is her shit. So, like,
I
she
love
was
that.
all the way in, like, so just be ready. I'll send pictures.
I love it. I love it. I
Just
love
all
it. I
this
love it.
fucking
What else? I was gonna say something else. Shit. Um, no, I don't remember. Oh no, working on the run, right? All right, so boom. I've
okay.
been
I
working.
ran I ran before the show today.
Good for you. I used to do that too until uh, maybe I'll do it when these next 2 weeks when my niece doesn't have to go to summer school anymore. Um, but so I'm prepping for the run. Shirts design has already been created and finalized. The shirts themselves, I should be getting hopefully final artistic thing, like because they're gonna actually print these shirts. I'm hoping I'm getting within the next 30 days. Um, I'll say this for people. This will be a I'm trying to think if I want this to be like a proper sign up thing, like you're
Mhm.
signing up to run the 5K. Um, because there will be limited spots, or if I'm just like, yo, just buy the shirt and then run. You know what I'm saying? Maybe make my life easier that way. What I will say is just to give an update to everybody. There are limited shirts. There will also be limited medals as well. Yes, I bought medals. Um, Limited medals for running as well. So the first number of people, I'm trying to think, it was like, should I have them? Should I just send the medals with the shirts, or should I?
They gotta earn the medals.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, so all right, so I'm gonna have to send them afterwards. I'm gonna have to send them afterwards. You're gonna have to run. You're gonna have to run first. Um, make the 5K. You know what I'm saying? Except us, you don't have to run. I'll send you a medal, but but you should run.
I'll do the run.
Okay. And then I'm trying to think of like what's an app that we can. There's got to be some sort of app where you can like group together people to like track this run thing. I don't know.
Doesn't
We'll
Nike
see.
have something like that?
Nike has a Nike Run app, but uh I feel like they're better apps. Cuz Nike Run app is low key like what shoe do you wear? Nice,
Oh,
sweet.
yeah. Damn.
Um you want to run? Want to run? Yeah. So we'll see. I still got more research to do. We still got more time. I'm anticipating first week of October. I know that's when it's the devil's ass on in your side of the country. Um
The worst, but we'll see. We'll see what weekend that ends up landing on, or what week that ends up landing on.
okay. All right. Just hopefully, no one, you know, dies or passes out or anything. But that's the update on the run, man. It's happening. It's happening. I went to go run over the weekend. I was like, you know what? I was looking at everyone else's shirts because originally I was gonna buy regular shirts, and then I was like, no one's actually running an actual. I'm the only idiot running an actual shirt, like actual cotton shirts. Like fuck. So yeah, it had a little change up, but it's gonna be fun. If you're interested in the run, please let me know on actually if you're listening to this and you're on the free public one. The Patreons already, I've already seen the interest and allocated them. But if you're not on our Patreon for whatever reason, which you shouldn't be, you should pay the five. It's a good five. You're gonna get the full show. You're planning out Naomi's baby shower on Patreon, maybe. Um, but
Gonna send her flowers.
yeah, we're gonna do all that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not on the Patreon, let me know if you're interested, and we'll see from there. Um, should we talk about wrestling,
Yeah, let's talk about wrestling as
the
I
weekend
drink my
wrestling?
protein shake.
Oh, there we go. Come on, man. Recovery.
Yeah.
Um, let's get to the big news of this week. It's the news everyone waited for. It's the news that they made us sit through 2 hours of Monday Night Raw
Which
for.
I thought was funny because everyone was like, "Oh, well, she didn't open the show with it." So now I was like, I don't feel like they're doing it the same way that they used to do these types of things. And
Let me
also,
ask you something. All right, go
this is
ahead.
only the second time something like this has ever happened in the company. So like,
When would you decide if you ever want to do the reveal? I'm just letting you know the A show is definitely open for you to do the reveal on, when you guys are having children at some point. The A show is 100% open because the mere fact it was revealed on the Stephanie McMahon, what's your
the fact that Stephanie said, "All right, let's get her on my show first."
yeah, she's like, all right. They filmed this before Raw. Do you know that?
I saw they filmed it
everyone
for Raw, and
everyone
I was
had to
like,
come in early.
Stephanie was like, we gonna get this content, baby.
Yeah.
We're a full
She's
fucking
in the game now.
team."
Yeah, she's in the game. Like she's part of this like emergency podcast type vibe with the we need to get the news out there about this, but we also need to keep it hush. You know what I'm saying? It was revealed on Monday Night Raw that Naomi, is pregnant. And with that, she has relinquished the Raw Women's World Heavyweight Championship. And she will see us heifers in 9 months and change if
She
she has
said
anything to
she's
say about
putting
it
she putting heifers in the ground.
when she comes back. What are your kind of overall thoughts and just kind of feelings about this? Um, Not that it was necessarily bad, but it just like I had so many thoughts going through my head. But what were you thinking?
I mean, I figured that this was it. Like the way that it was just hush hush, completely no physical stuff going on, kept her off TV. It not for nothing. It was definitely thought out and thoughtful the way that they handled it. But I think only thing I can think is like what a run for her from last year. From her return really from
Right.
last year when she was like a workhorse on the division on every show, all the way up to her heel turn, the Mania match that she had, one of the only Mania matches that was just like just two women going at it. You know what I mean? Like I think there were very few of those that happened this year, all the way up to winning her the Money in the Bank, all the way up to winning the title, all the way up to having her dad walk her out at SummerSlam and perform her song with her.
Right.
You couldn't, for someone like her, a performer like her, and someone as talented, you can't dream up a better scenario of how this happened. Um,
Hmm.
obviously incredibly happy. I know she's had her struggles, and as somebody who, has kind of gone through those same things, I know the struggle is like, trying to have kids, and it's harder than people think. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that people have a grasp of how hard it is. I
Hmm.
didn't even get a grasp of how hard it is until 3 years ago, you know?
Right.
I mean, even my wife was watching it tearing up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a really happy moment. It gives people hope. It gave me hope. You know what I mean? It gives a lot of people hope for things like that to happen, and to say like, hey, like your career isn't going to stop you from having this moment, and vice versa. The baby isn't going to either. I just feel incredibly happy for her. I think she's had a great run.
Hmm.
And I think when she gets back, it's gonna be is gonna be problems. She's gonna make a mark.
Yeah, the arc that's gone with her career over the last, I guess, 18 months, from everything from like the return to the build up to the moment to the kind of reestablishing herself. I mean, this is, like you said, this is probably the best way that anyone could reveal this, or it, just kind of news about this as well. And I think, yeah, we're incredibly happy for her. Because it's just, she's someone, even as a heel, people adored her. She's beloved universally. This news is awesome because she had talked about it a number of months ago. I think she went on to Bella's podcast and talked about it. And like, eventually she does want to wind her career down to make room for having this. And maybe this is the opportunity where she sees that she can have both worlds and stuff like that. And I feel like nowadays, when you look at uh motherhood and wrestling, I back in the day, I always felt like you had to choose one. And maybe that's
Mhm.
just because of how it was like portrayed by WWE. Like, even to a certain point, it was like none of the girls get pregnant at all. Or like,
Yeah, yeah.
realistically, during any of their runs, you took a look at Trish and you look at Lita and you look at everyone that kind of Sable and everyone who came during the runs. We never had any situation where someone was like legitimately um or at least openly pregnant during their run and had to take time off, because it was kind of like unheard of. It was actually, they would, back then they probably thought it would be irresponsible to really do something like that, like to jeopardize your entire career to have children for whatever reason, because men run the company and see that as a thing. But in this day and age, it's more, you see a lot of new mothers being wrestlers, having both, juggling both in the best way possible. So shout out to Naomi. This is awesome. Shout out to Big Jim. How do we feel like he's officially like Big Jim now?
That means Big Jim. I think this is like his third kid, first with Naomi.
Yeah,
Um, I guess we can expect him in about 9 months to be written off in a strange way,
I
or
doubt
just
it.
disappear.
I'm on the biggest
Um,
role in my life, baby.
man, it's actually, I think she'll be due around Mania, or a little bit after Mania. I
I
think.
think a little bit before Mania, because Mania is still, because it's like in middle of the April now. Um, I'm assuming she'll be due like March-ish. Um, so we'll see what happens from there. I mean, um, I'm happy for her. Again, we all love Naomi. We all love Trinity. We watched her for so long do this thing and improve at this thing and be really, really good at this thing. And for her to, you know, be able to experience this, I think it's just shows how much she's loved by the universe. I couldn't help but think also, my wrestling brain tapped in,
Okay.
because essentially Naomi was a replacement for Liv on
Yes.
the show.
Yeah, they're losing a they're now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of it, is that
Y- Yeah, so Naomi was the replacement for Liv because Liv is out for an extended period of time, and probably, I believe she did have, I don't know, it hasn't been revealed whether she has surgery on her shoulder. You could rehab it, but it also risks the chance of it being dislocated again. So I don't know why you wouldn't have surgery. But so Naomi was a replacement for that. She's the top heel on essentially Raw. But now the top heel for Raw is gone again. So where do we go from here with the women's division? And I think this is a great opportunity to kind of like take a look at the grand scheme of things, take a look at the grand canvas of things, and see who can fit in this massive gap that we're losing. And I think there's a number of possibilities, but I would love to hear what you would think would probably be the best thing to replace this gap in the women's division.
I think at this point you probably elevate Roxanne and Raquel to that level right now. Even though
Hmm.
they're because when Liv gets back, you have a set kind of babyface role for her when she gets back. I think
Right.
there's nobody that's gonna boo her. I think you need to start that now, but I think in the interim right now, you have Asuka in that role as well. So I think like the core of a Asuka, I mean the Kyrie, I think she'll eventually turn heel too, but you'll have the
Hmm.
Rhea, Io, Stephanie thing kind of fold out there. I think this is one of those times where it's like, and and again, I think this is actually an advantage because I think Triple H actually makes good decisions when his back is against the wall like this. When he's
Hmm.
stagnant, we see it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
we can tell when he's stagnant and there's just not really much that he cares about because he's getting to the next story beat. When things have to get shaken up, that's what you do. But I think this is like a crazy, you know, situation, but this is why you need to call up these women a lot faster. But then
Absolutely.
again, Meals, they just called up a lot of women and like they're building a lot of them, and it's like this isn't like any of their fault because they actually did call
I,
up like what 3 or 4 women in the
yeah,
past
but you've
3
lost so
months.
many long term for sure. Can I run through a list of like potential options for you
Yeah,
just to see where you would think.
yeah,
We talked about Oscar already. I think Oscar is definitely a major option. What about Bailey? Considering everything that we've seen over the
that
last number
works.
of
I
weeks,
forgot about her. I honestly forgot about her. Yeah,
Bailey's someone who can be slotted in. Essentially, she can be either top face, top heel. It seems like she's leaning more towards heel. Um, I don't know if it'll have the same gravitas as Naomi or Liv, but it's definitely something because again, people love Bailey. Like,
her Ding Dong Hello era is probably like the most iconic thing she's
yeah,
done. Like they should go
yeah.
back.
Let's see. I also have here. What's your thoughts on a potential? This is literally out of left field, right?
Okay.
What if they turned Rhea Ripley? No,
No, they're not gonna
probably.
do that. I
Okay.
I still, and I know this has kind of been a point of contention and something that's been talked about a lot.
Hmm.
I still think they're moving her.
Okay.
I still
Okay.
think they're moving her. I know this is unpopular, but I think that she's done everything she could, and I think what's happening right now is that the walls are kinda, like, crumbling, but I think they should stay the course and have her move to SmackDown and have one of their big women move over, like Charlotte or Alexa should probably move to Raw.
What about Bianca Belair?
Heel?
Potentially heal Bianca Belair.
I'm with it. I think that's a good role for her. We were predicting evil Bianca. You know what I mean? Like we thought that evil Bianca was gonna happen and didn't happen over the Mania season. But I mean, happening now, it definitely makes a lot of sense.
I think is someone who could easily you look at the Raw Women's division, you see Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and potentially could blame both of them for her missing time, for her losing at WrestleMania, for them ruining her world championship shot. There's a lot of meat on the bone to blame these ladies for
My issue
something.
with that is that it can't come off like fake. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that leaves it where like I just feel like Naomi's gonna come back as a heel. So, like, it
Hmm.
wouldn't make sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, Naomi doesn't have to come back as a babyface, and I don't think she will, and I don't think she should. She's on such a roll, this character. Yeah, I would feel very disappointed if she came back as a babyface.
I feel like
Because
I feel
remember,
like we can
Becky did it. Becky came back as a heel.
I can't see Naomi coming back for at least a year and a half to maybe 2 years though. Like I can't see I feel like
It took Becky,
even
what, a
in
year?
it took Becky. I mean, Becky wanted to be back as soon as possible. I think it took her like maybe 14 months. She dropped it in June. Was ready. She said she was ready like by Mania time, but they didn't want to push it or do anything or plan anything around that time. So she ends up returning at SummerSlam, which is in August. So it probably took her about 14 months to come back. But she was ready beforehand. But again, I say this with even for Vince era, that was like careful, right? Like
Yeah,
careful planning and all this other stuff. H planning is way more meticulous. Like it's gotta fit, or else it's just not happening.
yeah.
Um, I don't see him like prioritizing like, yo, let's bring her back and figure out something for her. It's like, all right, what makes the most sense if she does come back? And I think that's what um if we don't see her for a while could potentially be that. I could also see. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Jade Cargill is in the position to be able to
She's gonna
kind
be a
of.
heel on SmackDown.
Yeah, but I don't think she can hold it down. Or you
But
could
yeah,
do
no,
Nia Jax. I mean, Nia Jax is still there.
well, I mean, the thing
Nia
is,
Jax would be the easiest answer.
we noticed where she went as soon as Charlotte became ubiquitous on both shows. So I don't think that's gonna happen because they're eventually gonna have to run into each other.
Is there any woman on NXT that you feel like could be called up and make an immediate impact and kind of like fill that role that
Taylor Trackman,
Naomi? Okay.
JC Jane, Fallon Henley, immediate.
No, it's
Immediate pop too. I think they'd be immediate.
Jasmine stays home.
Yeah, she stays. She's not ready. She's
um
she looks like she has six left feet out there. She look crazy.
but I mean, there are definitely a lot of options. I think they this is a great opportunity for at least one of these women, and we're gonna hear what's gonna happen with the future of the Women's World Heavyweight Championship next week on Raw. So we won't have to wait long. Will it still be defended in Paris? No idea.
They
But
need to just I think it should. They need because they have to have a champion. I think that they should just go ahead and run Stephanie and Io and give it a finish. They just should just run it. It's the easiest thing that you could do right now. Because wasn't the reason why Io was getting the
but
match was
then
because she wasn't pinned.
right, but then Roxanne just pinned Io last week.
Do a triple threat?
Would you give it to Roxanne?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
I would give
Noted.
it to Roxanne if only for the fact that like I didn't think Stephanie was winning it in Paris anyway, and she was gonna chase. I just feel like like with Stephanie, you could tell they want to push her, but it's so snake bitten everything that's happened since they
Mhm.
pulled her up. It's just been snake bit. She wasn't even on the show this week.
Yeah, it's weird. It's strange. Um, but again, I think they definitely have plans for it. But I could definitely see if they want to. H is very heel heavy. Like the H's, the Triple H's, all three of them stand for heel. So I could definitely see them going with Roxanne in this position.
Boy, if
But
Wins this title,
I mean, they are going to. I mean, they're going to Perth. So is it Perth? Crown Jewel.
yeah.
Um, Crown Jewel 2025. But it's Australia for sure. So they are going, yeah, they're going back to Perth. So, the RAC Arena, 15,000. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's
Well,
probably sold out by
I
now.
mean the thing is with H2 is that like even if he is heel heavy, he's not for nothing anything but like predictable. Like if he just gives her the title, I'm not mad at that either. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like, but it seems to be the story will be Stephanie Vicaire in the fall. Like that's where it is. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, it just sucks that like I think she hurt her knee, so she had been out for a while,
Hmm.
and then the live thing happened, and then the Naomi thing happened, and it was just like it's just been snake bit. But
Yeah,
hopefully they can get her back on track.
absolutely. I think that's a great idea. Or even have they announced Becky versus Nikki yet for the
No, but
championship?
I would imagine how many matches are announced? Clash. We'll
We
be
got
talking about some of them on the show today.
yeah, absolutely. Come on. You talk about Rusev on the show. Come on, baby.
Only 3 so far?
Only
Only
3.
3? So,
So
yeah.
I'm assuming, yeah, they're waiting for the women. The women should. I mean, I don't think there's I don't think Becky needs another match on another card, but again, if it's against Nikki Bella, I'm with it.
It could be
It
the France Raw, Paris Raw.
Yeah, that could be it too. So I don't know if she needs to occupy another space on the card. It would be great if Tiffany got another, pay-per-view match, but that hasn't been built up or anything over the rather. So doubt we'll see that. We'll talk about SmackDown and the lack of direction of the women on that show. They're definitely like just sitting on their hands.
Whoever the
Um,
fuck is booking the women on that show, they need to put that person back on the shelf. I don't know
Absolutely,
who switched from fucking June of this year to now, but they're fucking it all up.
I agree. I 100% agree. Another bit of news that happened this week. Well, all right. Well, I'm trying to figure out which news I want to talk about. All right, let's talk about because this will be quick. Um, the winner of the G1 Climax has finally been crowned. It is Konosuke Takeshita, signed to All Elite Wrestling. He's, I guess, one of the only outsiders to win the G1 Climax, like legitimate outsider, like not employed by the company, but won the G1 Climax. I could be wrong. I feel like Chris Mack will fucking, you know, he'll correct me. Um, But Takeshita wins. He just says he does not want to wait till Wrestle Kingdom to cash in his championship shot, which I also think is a dumb idea. Um,
So he's cashing it early.
yes, he's cashing it in early
Oh, so
against.
he's gonna
Yeah,
lose.
I mean he don't work there.
Then what was the
Like,
point? You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing was to push the build to Wrestle
they ain't,
Kingdom.
they ain't got nobody. I mean, I haven't seen anyone on this on in New Japan that even looks like a guy. And we look at Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door is the most for this Forbidden Door. I always thought it was supposed to be a lot more inclusive with all the other
It should
things,
stay forbidden.
but it's not. You know what I'm saying? There is a Forbidden Door which happens this weekend. I guess we can use that to talk about this now as well. Um Takesha's not on the card, but I'm sure he will be by the end of tomorrow or the end of the week. Um, but New Japan, not a heavy presence on this card because Forbidden Door is happening the same month as G1, so they need to make sure that everyone is free from G1 before they can announce them from the card. But then I was also like, don't you have CMLL? Like, why is it? Couldn't you just wasn't that like your highest rated, biggest touted Arena Mexico ass show that you just did, and you could feature a lot of them on the card as well? But there's currently only one CMLL person, which is Persephone, or Persephone.
Persephone. Persephone.
Um, Shout to you. Um, so it just looks like a standard AEW card, but as they do in the UK, it's selling well. There are about 17,000 tickets in. At the O2 Arena. The main event is scheduled to be Hangman Adam Page versus MJF. And it's probably the best thing they could do right now. But I'm concerned when I look at things like Konosuke Takeshita winning the G1, and I look at AEW and see that they're kind of like redoing this main event, redoing this match for maybe like the third, fourth time on pay per view. I kind of wonder the situation of like, is the opportunity really there in AEW to become bigger or to realize it, or someone could sign there and fully realize their potential? Could Ace Austin, who just signed there, eventually become a contender for the AEW World Championship? And to be honest with you, looking at the past pay-per-views, rolling between Moxley, who was also there in 2019, 2020, um, rolling through the contenders there, which kind of like rotate between Osprey, Swerve, MJF, Hangman Adam Page. It's not really an active
It's
new
all
title scene.
elite. It's all elite guys, and the only
Yeah,
person that's ever broken through is Swerve. He's the only person that's ever broken through,
yeah.
and I say this all the time. They never push anyone above that kinda, like, top level, top brass of the elite, and then Mox. You know what I
And
mean?
and
Like,
and probably Brian too. Brian
and
will
Brian,
probably
yeah.
be
And they had to force him to get the damn title. He didn't even want it. So, like, what's crazy to me is that, like, we are in this point where, like, people like, "It could it be Takeshita?" And I'm like, "No." I'm honestly like, "No, I don't think it will be him either. I don't think it's him. I don't think he got what it takes."
I think he should have been developed a lot more. I'm a fan of his, right? And I thought it was a great idea for him to turn on Kenny Omega like 3 years ago, but it also happened 3 years ago. And nothing of note has happened really since. I think he has the size, I think he has the presence, I think he has a lot of things that are needed in that scene that adds something different. I think he has something natural as opposed to trying to manufacture whatever the hell he's got going on. But again, he does have his shortcomings in speaking and mic work and anything else that they
And teeth.
really yeah, that they haven't really
That's true.
invested
It's
with him
true.
in.
Bro, he smile, and I'm just like, "That's not a star."
Hey
That and
man,
his teeth crazy.
Vince would have made him like the
He would have made him, Snitsky, bruh. Like, I'm sorry, like, it might be mean, but, like, it's a looks business. When I see the guy's teeth, I'm like, "I can't do it, bro.
but
I
maybe
can't
he
do it."
not. I mean, maybe he just the near just once he gets to that
I'm a
star level.
You got the money to do it, but, like, stop smoking cigarettes and chewing on chew, bruh.
mm.
Get your shit straight, man. Get your teeth straight before we even consider you to be part of that shit. Like, the thing is, like, people's only thing is, like, he wrestle good. You know what I mean? It take more than wrestle good. He in a company with a bunch of people that wrestle good. You know what I
But
mean? Like,
I think I think Takesha has something different than I think just the
what?
overall look, just the
He
overall
a tall Japanese dude. Okada was a tall
yeah.
Japanese dude too.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I'm
we
saying?
know Okada is like on the
His teeth ain't
Tek
brown.
right, but Takesha's on the up and come, and Okada is on the slow decline. Um, but but he's on the up and up in this. So I feel like there's definitely value within him and at least pushing him as a kind of star. When you look at the broken down people that you have, you had Will Ospreay come back in 3 weeks from saying that he has major neck things and he's going to be in a lights out steel cage match. You have John Moxley who's essentially killing himself every pay per view for whatever reason just
You
for this
know
company.
you know what's crazy is have you noticed like this immediate kinda build for this Forbidden Door match? Like, this Forbidden Door card looks like it's, like, all in part 2. Like, have you
Yes.
noticed how kinda like, huh, you're like, what are y'all doing?" It's just like, y'all going too
So
hard."
I thought this was a to us, it felt like a response to a lot of the counter programming going on.
Mhm.
At least that's how it's being promoted, or at least it's being sold as, right? Like now they're announcing this card, they're adding big names to this card so they can so they can get more eyeballs on it. So by the time it's next month, but they probably do Forbidden Door Part 2, to be honest with you. Um, Going up against that WWE pay-per-view, which we'll talk about in a bit, or PLE, if it will even be a PLE, it's not even looking like a PLE anymore. Um, they'll have something that people can kind of like gravitate towards. Uh, this is, I'll be honest, I like this Forbidden Door card. I think a lot of matches make sense on it. I think, but granted, it was just kind of thrown together. And then also, I don't look at this card and see really the direction of the company. I don't see where this company you can usually tell when you look at old WWE cards, like the direction of this company is going. You can see Roman's trajectory. You can see Finn's trajectory. You can see a lot of things. Rhea Ripley. I don't think there's anybody who has any notable trajectory on this card except maybe like Kyle Fletcher, which they really seem to be behind. Like,
He
I
ugly as
don't,
hell, bro.
yeah, he's ugly as shit. I don't know why Nigel McGuinness is wrestling Zack Sabre Jr. Nigel McGuinness is an announcer.
Because they can do it, because they can
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. Nigel McGuinness is an announcer. It doesn't really do anything. Not to say that I'm not going to enjoy the match, but it's just I don't know why you have the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion there. This is a great opportunity to give someone an opportunity to contend for it, and you choose Nigel McGuinness. You know, um, the Timeless Tony Storm versus Athena. I think it'll be a good match, but I think Athena's
He's a dork.
and over, yeah, and oh, major dork. And I think she's in over her head. I think
And
she's
I think Tony is like allowing herself to get beat up by this dork actually makes her look bad.
yeah, but I feel like she's gonna win. There's nothing in my brain that says Athena's winning this. Like,
Who's beating Tony for this? That's the question. Who's beating Tony for this? She's beating everybody.
no idea. It will be someone weird like Alex Windsor or some shit like
No,
that. Like,
I think they're gonna run back to the Mercedes match again. They're gonna do that all out.
they should, yeah, they could do it next month. Interesting. Um, Maybe they'll do that to kind of go up against John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Um, with that said, we've got Okada versus Swerve for
Whatever.
Unified Championship. I'm not against the match, but I'm like, okay, well, Swerve is gonna lose again.
It's like Roman going down to the, like, US title. Like, this is like the punishment title. Like, they're trying to make Okada like a thing there, and I
Like
just
an
don't feel like
event wrestler, like an big
yeah,
event guy.
so he's just
But
not.
yeah, he's not. He doesn't. He had a terrible promo last week. And then Hurt Syndicate will go up against what we're assuming is FTR, which will lead to was expected to lead to FTR winning the championships and then defending it against Adam Copeland and Christian Cage on the next pay per view.
How
So,
do you feel about that them getting back together?
um, here's my hot take: Edge and Christian were cool for the time, but they were very much. You could argue that they were a trend. Like it didn't
You like, you wouldn't put them up against, like, the best tag teams there at the time.
no, no, not at all. Like I think they represent part of an era, but I wouldn't even hold them close to the longevity that the Dudley Boys have and the amount of work that they put in. The Hardy Boys have, even people within their era. They were very much like their team happened in 1998 and it ended in 2001. I think that's shorter than like half the tag teams that currently exist in WWE currently. Like, and I think they've had much better solo careers, way more. Those solo careers, I think, encompass their career arcs way more than their tag team does. I think the tag team is a great. We got in, we made it happen. We hustled from the bottom and we made it to the top. But you know, I see why they do it. I see why they're doing this. I think it's a request specifically of both Adam Copeland and Christian Cage of like, let's do this to kind of like really before we end our careers one more time because they wouldn't allow them to do this in WWE.
Yeah,
Um,
because it's stupid.
or if they did, Roman and Jey Uso would have kicked the shit out of them 4 years ago.
Like, they woulda did it in Vince's era, but, like, today, I couldn't imagine, like, remember when Vince had the Dudley Boys come back and win titles?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is they're not there, or the New Age Outlaws, remember when they came back and the Shield had to whoop their ass? Like, they're not doing shit like that no more.
Well,
So,
yeah, there's new management, and there's management whose priority is to push the future as opposed to like kind of like relaying on the nostalgia in the past. So it is what it is. But Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne on this card fool me. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna happen. Who knows what's gonna happen with the Hurt Syndicate? I don't know what's gonna happen in this steel cage match. The
the
fact
Hurt
that Kota
Syndicate the Hurt Syndicate should try and get fired during this match.
I mean, they should. They honestly should. Who knows what will happen? But I'm assuming Bobby is going to be like, all right, so when's my world title match?
Never, never. And then
But why would you? And then it's going to be, boo boo face, all types of things, MVP talking in the media about stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So who
on
knows
his
what will happen?
podcast. I didn't even know the podcast had happened.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Just when I saw clips aggregated with him and Mercedes. I was like, oh, and they're like a couple episodes in. I was like, oh, you have a podcast, okay. If he talked about Triple H, I'm sure we would have seen it before, like he said he was going to. Um, so we'll see what happens.
The secret has not been revealed. I will say that the Triple H secrets have not been revealed. Maybe when the views start going down, he'll do it. But I also feel like he's not gonna do it because he wants to go back. So
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, I think he's keeping that line clear. For him and his boys. Let's see what else. Transitioning from this, speaking of AEW, there's been rumors. circulating, and I say rumors. I feel like legitimately Dave Meltzer is the only one talking about this.
And he's
Mm,
saying everyone's talking about it.
yeah.
Nobody cares.
But I have to listen to the context of it because sometimes he says stuff and I'm like, bro, who the fuck who said that? Like, why would you say that? Dave Meltzer in the latest episode of Wrestling Observer Radio said Jericho is actually a really big story. His contract comes up at the end of the year or late in the year, and there's certainly a lots and lots to talk about WWE. I know from a WWE standpoint that there's lots to talk about Jericho. People speculating Rumble. No one has officially said anything. No one will officially say anything.
Okay.
There hasn't been a lot of. I could see backstage. I could see Jericho trying to ink himself back into the WWE. I could absolutely see that. The fact that there's talk about it. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
He
Like at
gonna
all.
eat a he gonna have to eat a lot of shit. I don't think H won't bring him back, but
H will. He will.
yeah, he will, but I think that, like, he absolutely will be eating a lot of shit, and I think that Jericho should be ready to take pins and be treated as if he's like a legacy act there, because that's just what he does. That's what Triple H does with people like this now.
I could see that. I could see. I mean, Royal Rumble appearance, possibly a WrestleMania match in the cards. Like, I could see all of that. I mean, it. I don't see him sticking around as long. I see him kind of renegotiating, trying to do his own thing, not really like trying to be tied down to a major. Nor would I offer him. He's like 50 something years old.
He's not
Um,
getting AEW money, no.
no, not at all. But also, why would you leave AEW? That's really my question. Like, what would be the benefit for him to leave AEW to come to WWE?
They figured out the grift. I mean, there's nothing left for him to do there.
He's like, I've
They
been
have
grifting
figured
this
out
thing
the
for
grift.
6 years, man.
Yeah, they figured it out already.
I'll leave it in your hands, Adam. Um, Brian.
What
Um,
like, what
maybe
is he
no one's
not like,
listening to no one must be listening to him anymore. That might be it.
that's probably what it is, and I think that, like, he's gonna have to put on his big boy pants and recognize that a lot of his ideas, yeah, like, yeah, the cruise, that shit ain't happening. They're not going to that.
You trying to get the cruise on ESPN, baby.
Yeah, like, this ain't MTV Spring Break. They're not doing the cruise. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're you gotta he gonna have to he's gonna have to eat shit, man. I think that a lot of what it is, like, a lot of people don't want him back, and I think this is gonna, and just again, y'all need to be ready for stuff like this, because what I said a couple weeks ago, it's a company that just they strive on getting virality and getting people talking, so don't be upset when he shows up. We're telling you right now, it's probably gonna happen,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't expect it to be like a huge big deal though.
A few other quick tidbits before we move into Triple Mania and then head over to Patreon. Um, Karrion Kross went on Helwhani last week.
Uh,
H- How's it this bad? No one thinks he's fired. Not a soul thinks that this is actual real. So it's like even the way he answered questions, the way he approached the entire interview, the way it kind of all went down, it doesn't really scream authentic. Usually, we've talked about this. We've sat there and watched people go on Ariel Helwhani interviews and kind of like, would you ever want to work for AEW? And they spend like the next 15 minutes talking about how great of a place it would be and who they want to work with and all these other people that they did. He did none of that. He kept it short. He kept it cute. He should have kept it to the point. He was like, I tried to talk to Triple H, but he couldn't talk to Triple H, which doesn't even seem like a thing that like everyone. If Chelsea Green
I've heard nobody say that.
Yeah,
Ever.
Chelsea Green texted Triple H to get her job back. Why the fuck wouldn't he be able to talk to Triple H about anything? Um, no one's really buying it. So I don't even think this is much of a news story, to be honest with you. They did a couple of chants on SmackDown. I don't know if there was anything on Raw. I didn't really hear.
They
Uh,
said, "Oh, the signs got taken." Like, all right, well,
oh, is that's the new jig?
yeah,
Um,
I guess.
so he's only lined up appearances at conventions and film festivals and shit. nothing actual that would tip you off that this is an actual real thing. So, not really much of a news story. Um,
But he got a new theme.
oh, sweet.
Got a new
Uh,
theme.
God bless him and everything that he's working towards. What's the other quick thing I want to talk about before Triple Mania? Oh, there's WWE PLE on September 20th. So now there's possibly news. We talked about a couple of things have like leaked through things. One is that it may be potentially be called WrestlePalooza.
Mhm.
Your thoughts on that?
I think it's cool. I think it's owned by another company, but I don't think that would be much of people keep talking like this will be a hindrance to the billion-dollar company. I don't think it will.
They
I think
bought
that
Yeet.
yeah, like, I think if they want it and the company really wants to do it, if all the company says, "Give us $300,000 and shout us out," I don't think they'll be like, "We're not shouting you out, but we'll give you the money." Like, I think that I think that's what'll happen. But, I don't think it'll be a problem with that. But I think it's cool. I think it should be like it should be main evented by Cena and Brock. It should be like an Extreme Rules match, like the one back in 2014. I think it was like what 11 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it would be really really fun to do. I think it'll be a fun show. Listen, a lot of people keep talking about the counter programming, man. Tell you this right now. How many WWE fans do you know? Like how diehards. And to just be clear, there are significantly more of these types of fans than there are AEW diehards. Okay, let's just be real. How many of them are thinking, "Oh shucks, I got to watch both of these shows"? That's not
well,
happening.
well, here's the wrinkle for it. The newest wrinkle that has been added to it. There is now rumors that not only will it not be an actual PLE, which means it's not going to air on Peacock, likely because Peacock, they probably have all their pay-per-views lined up for the rest of the year on Peacock. So
Yeah,
to
it's too
add
short
more,
notice. It's too short
yeah,
notice.
to add more would mean more money. Um, there's potential of this airing on ESPN.
Boom,
ESPN proper.
boom. They dropping it on. They dropping it in their draws. That's what that is.
They want these motherfuckers dead. Like dead, dead. Like
Can you blame
gone,
them?
gone to the soil. Um, or I don't even know if they want them as much dead as like not even a thought, not even a hindrance to us. We want all your talent, we want all your people, we want all these things. We want you to be in a position where you are unable to do the business that you can do even right now, or much less 5 years ago. And then from there on, we'll see what happens. They are learning from what was 50 Cent's book?
What 50 Cent? Yeah, what was that book called?
Uh,
I literally feel
The
like I had
50th
the
power?
yeah the 50th power, which was the just the 48th laws of power, and he added two more.
The
Uh,
50th law, sorry, the 50th law. That's hilarious. Added 250 things.
what
They're doing that.
I think it's clear they want him dead. I don't think it's like a bad thing for people to say to be like, well, see, now they think of him as competition. I'm just like, well, like, yeah, because they're expanding at such a rapid pace that like here's what's going on with AEW right now. Since they've signed this TV deal, right? They
Hmm.
have lost CM Punk. Their ratings have faltered. The attendance is down. Ratings have the show ratings that is they've just gone up. You know what I mean? Like, but we know that that doesn't really put asses in seats, right?
Hmm.
But now what they're looking at a media landscape where WWE is on WWE is on ESPN, it is on in some ways Universal, it is on Tubi, it is on all of these things, and the walls are closing in for these people. And
And
I
with the
don't know.
with when you talk about the walls closing in, you also looking at AEW and like what its future lies with Warner Brothers and Discovery going their separate ways again.
Yeah. And essentially they took the Discovery stuff off Max quick. All right. Like the shit is gone off there. And it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before they start taking the live sports stuff off of HBO Max too. It's still on there, but I think it's only a matter of time. So what you're looking at is the walls kind of closing in. And I think with any type of competition, and I think if this was the shoe on the other foot, people would be like, yeah, AEW smells blood in the water. WWE smells blood in the water. AEW was in this very position in 2021 where they smelled blood in the water and they kept running it up on these niggas. They signed away all of the people that everyone loved, Andrade, Alistair, everyone at the time, and it was the
Mhm.
hottest thing smoking. WWE's bided their time. They've kind of, created just this opportunity where they could really expand, and this is where we're at now, where something like this can happen, and WWE can do this whenever they want to because they have partnerships in high places. They have combined all of their partnerships into one, and they all work in lockstep with each other. Like WWE is looked at as a media entity that people will pay for and that they will support. AEW just does not have that.
It's scary. I mean, it's looking scary for them long term. But I think they're trying to bolster it short term. But it'll be interesting to see kind of like the future of what AEW is on their own network, because then that will negotiate kind of like that will determine where they kind of go in the future. Let's see if HBO Max will continue to keep live sports. Let's see if HBO Max will acquiesce with the live pay-per-view model that they have been hoping for, that they were talking about
But we
for.
said this. We said this back last year. He's putting his too many of his eggs in one basket. Way too many of his eggs in one basket. That's dangerous.
I
That's
agree.
a that's a danger. The wearing the max hat, talking
Turning
about the great
down,
partners.
I think they turned down, I'm not sure if it was reported, they turned down the CW for ROH. Um, it's looking bad now, especially if TNA ends up on CW.
I know. Oh my god, I know.
So it is what it is, and then again, they're going to be prepping for, and we'll use this to transition to the next story. WWE AAA, they had their massive event over the weekend, TripleMania, broadcasted on YouTube pages. You think they aren't looking at that and be like, you get a nice deal for this? What, 4.3 million people, 4.3 million views in 24 hours? Like, yeah, we get a good hunk of change for this. Um, what are your thoughts on TripleMania over the weekend?
It was really fun. I mean, nothing like, um, you know, crazy in terms of just work rate, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like an AEW show. I think like what I love about these shows is just how fun they are. They just feel like I can just sit back, watch them, and like kind of turn my brain off. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, I really liked the main event. I really enjoyed that tag team hardcore match was fucking crazy. Like it was actually really, really good. And it felt like old AAA from what I've seen. I watched like two Triple Manias before. It wasn't for
Over.
me,
Mm.
but like it definitely felt like those old ones. This one did feel a little bit more produced. I will say I don't know how like AAA fans feel about that, but like I also got the idea or the feeling that like in the past these shows have felt really kind of like rudder, like there's no rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just do whatever the fuck. Is botches all over the place. This one felt like it was like very much produced, but still trying to live within the AAA mold. Like they allowed them to do the blood and all the hardcore stuff. So that was cool. But there's also like a bigger emphasis I felt like on the women too. Like there was just a lot of women's matches on that too. So
Hmm.
like and I don't know what the role of the women have been in AAA, but it looks like WWE is like trying to enforce that they're going to make sure that they have a quota of the amount of women they have on these shows too, which is kind of cool.
Hmm.
Um, I think like the major conversation, I guess, is like the fatal four way match at the end and how all of that shook out, which I'm not mad at all. And I think people are looking at this in such a wrong way. And I think
I
that
mean, we're
like
not mad at. We live in America. We don't hate Vikingo.
I yeah, exactly that's the thing too. It's like the reaction to Vikingo to me is like not shocking. It's like you know, that crowd, that audience really likes Alberto Del Rio. You know what I mean? Regardless of what he's been seen as, whatever, regardless of what, we know he's been credibly accused of.
He's their
Um,
star. I mean, he's their
he's their
star
guy.
apparently.
He's their guy. And I think that people are like, well, it should have been El Grande and it should have been Dom. And I'm like, these are guys that are like he should not be losing to first. You know what I'm saying? Like not at their biggest show of the year. Like that's just not how booking works. And it took me back meals to when Trick won the TNA title, and then they
Hmm.
thought that Mike Santana should have won. And I'm like, that's just not how things work, guys. Like you have to create a chase for someone to have. This is a different situation. I'll give them that. This is a very different situation with with Vikingo, where WWE seemingly has chosen this guy. They're like, this is our guy. This is our main babyface for this promotion that we own now, right?
Right.
So we're gonna have him face off against WWE superstars, like guys that are on WWE programming every single week, right? And with that idea, they have said, okay, this is what we plan to do with him. We're gonna make him a guy, and we're going to have him beat some of our stars and be, neck and neck with them. That he beat Gable, he pinned Dom, and I'm like, how could y'all be mad at like the way that this is like being presented? Like he's actually being presented as like a really really top guy. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like he's being presented like really 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 like topper than top guy. You know what I mean? And then for him to win, and people are like, well, they were booing him, so he shouldn't have won. I'm like, how many times did John Cena get booed, and
Yeah.
y'all didn't give a shit about that? You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh, I think that they're being petty or spiteful, or they're trying to do it to spite the fans. I'm like, no, they're thinking ahead of what they're trying to do. I actually think the way they book AAA is actually in some ways better than how they book people on the main roster, because it makes more sense. It's simpler. You know what I mean? Like Vikingo should have won that match. He's gonna go on to face Dom. He and
At
the
Worlds
Doms
Collide Vegas.
at Worlds Collide. They making these niggas work, by the way. But at Worlds Collide
First
Vegas,
of all, they love Vegas too
they
damn
really
much.
do. In an era where Vegas tourism is down,
Yeah, it's actually
year
down a
over,
lot.
it's down a lot. I don't know why they keep going to the well. I'm very interested in seeing what Mania will do, but I think Mania will do well. But I'm like, Vegas should be rolling out the red carpet for WWE if they manage to get people to come to Las Vegas in April, because no one is there right now. Me and you could go right now. Me and you could go right now. Get a room for 3 days for $450. No, no lie. Get a room for $450, and me and you probably won't come out of pocket for more than $1,200 that weekend. Real shit.
No one
Everything
is
is
going
is
there.
cheap.
Yeah, it's down. It's down. Everything that I read, it's down. So for them to go back, I mean, headquarters, all this other stuff like that, but also like you hitting them, you just had a Mania there. You're doing another pay per view there. Um, who knows what else they'll book in Vegas over the next like 8 months before they head back to Mania one more time. You know, it remains to be seen, but they're not doing a big Vegas arena, not for AAA for sure. But you get the audience there. But I think overall, um, I thought the pay per view was great. I thought the accessibility of it being on YouTube really right there make.
That's the smart thing too, Mills, because they can take those YouTube views and go to a company,
Mhm.
go to a network or go to a streaming service and say, look at what they do for us on YouTube. Imagine what they can do for you if you put ads on the show.
Come on,
If they get
ESPN 3, the Ocho.
Yeah, or the Oat Show or something like that. Or I mean, honestly, where have they not been yet? Where are they not there? You know what I'm saying? They could put AAA on Univision, or you know what I'm saying, something like that, where
Mhm.
like they're that to me is the smartest thing to do. It feels grassroots. It's not a new company. It's a new way that they're presenting this company. And I think that the way that they have actually done the YouTube thing is actually very, very smart, because it gives them a lot of leverage in saying this is what they do in one day. Imagine what they'll do on your network with all of the Latin American fans that will watch it.
It's very, very smart. They had featured a lot of great people on the show. I mean, Otis is back. He's on that show. Omos was back. He was featured on the show. Big viral moment. Judgment Day did their thing on the show. Lola Vice, who I'm assuming, who also was just reported that she re-signed a new contract to WWE. I'm not sure if it was an extension or a new contract, actually. It sounded like extension, but she's also back. I think she'll be a major part of this show since they're trying to still look for that um, massive Latin woman star for AAA. I don't think they have one yet. I don't, but God knows. Um, Los Garza, they had Natalia do her thing. I mean, Natty,
Wait, no, Stephanie is their Latin American star
but to
for them.
Stephanie really gonna be there? Like,
What you mean? Oh, in
I mean,
AAA?
featured on AAA. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Featured on
okay, yeah.
AAA, probably not.
Probably not. No.
Um, Conan, Rey Mysterio there. They should just make Rey Mysterio GM or some shit. Like, I don't know if I want to see him
They
wrestle
really want
again.
to do some stuff with Conan though. They
Yeah,
really wanna do some stuff with him.
I
You could
bet.
tell.
I bet. And then, of course, Dom, who's one of the biggest stars there. So they're doing a lot of things there. It was a great time. It was very, like I said, the best part of it being on YouTube, it was like very low barrier of entry. They're like, "Oh, let me just turn the shit on." Like,
Yeah.
and that was enough. To be honest with you, people don't want to
It's
say
a
like,
late
"Do
show too, and people were into
yeah,
it.
yeah," but it was like people weren't like, "Yo, do I need to be subscribed to this?" People weren't asking, "Where do I find this?" People weren't asking any of that. It was just like, "Yo, let me just turn this shit on." And, you know, to be honest with you, AEW could have did this with ROH a long time ago, but and actually make ROH a thing, but they don't have the resources to do that. But this was a
Yeah,
great show.
don't even get me started. Like, the thing is that they're taking what Tony should have did with ROH, and let's just be completely honest, we don't even know what the library about to look like for AAA. That's
Yeah.
where the money's gonna be at in the historical context of things. Like, I really dig what they're doing with AAA. I really do. And if you put Dom and have him win the title from Vikingo and have them chase for the next couple of months, you got a story there. You got a really good story there.
And I think it builds it as a different brand than CMLL, which is like more of a it has transformed into like a tourist attraction thing. You know what I'm saying? And not that people don't generally love wrestling who watch that, but they're selling out on a weekly basis because people are going to Mexico and it's like, oh, let me enjoy this wrestling show that's on because they're running every week. So I think it also brands it outside of that. Um, but overall, good show, good weekend, good graps. If you have it, I would like throw it on, maybe even in the background. Something will grab your eye. Trust me. The what was it? What was that first match called? The Copa Bardal.
Yeah,
Great.
Omos is a star. He's a star there.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, we should probably move on to Patreon from here.
Yeah, really exciting week for wrestling. Thank you guys for listening. Next week we're going to have predictions for Clash in Paris, results from Forbidden Door. But I mean, don't forget, guys, that we are, we're having these shows early. So I think SmackDown is going to be at 12 my time, 3 in the East Coast, and then
Mhm.
so Raw. So make sure that you are on point for that. But thank you guys for listening. We're moving on to Patreon. We'll see you guys next week on the A Show. Peace.